Hey, welcome to the Three Arcs Discord, Three Arcs live stream. This is David with Three Arcs, and this is my weekly live stream on YouTube that I go ahead and I do a review of what I've covered all week in the Verbobonc Campaign Guide 576 Common Year project for running the Temple of Elemental Evil campaign, the sandbox version campaign of the T1 through 4 Temple of Elemental Evil module. Not just running the module from the pages, but engaging the entire world of Greyhawk in the area, expanding the module into a huge, massive, epic campaign like a sandbox to where the players can go anywhere, engage in the world, and get involved with a lot of politics and activities of the cultists of the Temple of Elemental Evil, the other organizations they collaborate with, like all the different brigands and bandits and pirates and humanoids out there. And also gives the players something to do before they get to Nob, because you don't want them to be there before 5th level. Because it's basically going to be a dead end for them if they get there too early, because they'll be seriously underprepared. So the original Nob in the module is only 4 locations, and so I expanded it to 30 locations with like 7 different factions. So there's the cultist faction, the different cultists. There's the Greater Temple, Fire, Earth, Water, and Air, and other agents in the Temple of Elemental Evil. Plus, there's like 2 bandit gangs, a brigand gang, 2 pirate ships so far. There can be more, of course, but that's what I keyed for Nob. You can pick up the module and all the locations in this campaign are on worldanvil.com as fan content. So this is Wizards of the Coast fan content that I offer for free for all Dungeon Masters out there to use to run their campaign. So that way, since it's online on the website, you can run it at the table for your players, and all the information, all the NPCs and the lore and the personalities, the organizations, the groups, everything, the locations, like all the different villages and shops and different military groups are all at your fingertips for you to role play while you're at the table. And I write them all in a more terse manner with a lot of bullet points, so it's much easier to reference rather than a long slog of a blog that you have to weed your way through just to find out specific information, which makes it really tough to run anything at the table. A good example of that is the old modules, like, I don't know, the B2 module, where if you're looking for something specific, you have to read through the whole module to find it and take notes. I remember back in the day, they always told us as Dungeon Masters, to be a good DM, you have to take a lot of notes. More than just highlighter. You can't, highlighting the module helps, yes, but you really need to take a lot of notes and get that information in your notebook while you're running the game, so that way you're organized. I made that mistake a lot of times in the 80s where I said, hold on, guys, I need to look something up. And for 15 minutes, I'm looking through this module. I know where it's at. I read that somewhere. I'm looking for it. And that's the worst. The players get really impatient and you lose them. And also, pace and timing is everything in a game to make it fun. If you lose your pace and timing, it's not going to be fun. And that's why different rule system and combat systems it's an issue for pace and timing, and it's a thing. Also, playing at the table versus playing online like a VTT is a different thing to consider too. So what I do is I get these articles online for you to use, like on a laptop or something, with a lot of artwork, a lot of maps, a lot of interactive maps. And you can use this easily at the table while you're running the game, this massive campaign. Now, I got to remind you guys again, in case there's people that are new here, this is an epic campaign. It's not a quick, fun night of adventuring like, okay, let's go ahead and run them through the B2 module or the T1 module, and then we'll have some fun and we can wing it. Yeah, you can do that with those kind of mini campaigns. Or like the Hole in the Oak with Old School Essentials or something like that, like a Dungeon Slog. Yeah, you can just wing it and have fun. It is fun, yeah. But we're talking about running the Temple of Elemental Evil campaign. That's completely different. Totally different animal. And if you're not prepared, so you can't expect a Dungeon Master to be that prepared. Gary Gygax expected the Dungeon Master to expand the world. He only gave you 4 locations in Nob. There's also supposed to be other outposts out there besides the Moat House. The Greater Temple sent Lara to the Moat House, but the Fire, Earth, Water, and Air, they have outposts out there too, and they're raiding, they're recruiting. Everybody's heavily recruiting. That's the key. That's the foundation of really what's going on. The second rise of the Temple of Elemental Evil, and all the major players, all the major leaders of the temple, the 7 factions after all, right? Air, Earth, Water, Fire, the Greater Temple, and some other factions like Senshock and Commander Feldrin. They have their own things going on. Smigmol, the assassin. So they're all recruiting and they're all doing their own thing. They need supplies. They need bodies. They need slaves, prisoners. And so they're all doing their own thing. And I wrote many articles about this subject, how to pull this all together. It's monumental. And Gygax in the DM section of the, Frank Mencher wrote in the DM notes of the module that he expected you to expand this campaign. And so back to where you don't have time for that. You can, some dungeon masters, they attempt to, and they only go so far until they run out of steam or time. So it's really cool when somebody else has done it for you. And what you can do is, what I do is I write all that in mind. And so you use what you want to use. You don't have to, I don't expect a dungeon master to use everything. So I try to think of everything. And then it's up to the dungeon master to choose what he wants to use. Like there's 30 locations in Nob. Do you want to use the bakery? Do you want to use the graveyard? It's up to you. But I always put like plot hooks and NPCs and personalities and backgrounds with all those locations. And if the players happen to go there, you're prepared. You're not caught flat-footed, unprepared for something the players decided to do. We're going to float down river and see what happens. Things like that. Or we're going to go to Twilight Falls. So I'm going to go ahead and keep talking and show you guys stuff at the same time. It's more interesting than just looking at me. So let's go ahead and look at this. The goal of this video is to let everybody know what I did all week. Our progress, right? And then to let you know, discuss, answer questions on here. So if you have any questions about the campaign, go ahead and type it on in YouTube chat and I can answer them for you. I'll put it up on screen for you. And sometimes I have a guest, like a guest dungeon master. If you're a dungeon master, you want to talk about your campaign, yeah, you're welcome. Just contact me. And I like to have people like that on too. And I do have people like that on occasionally. And I did get in the Three Orcs Discord channel, we have dungeon masters in there talking about their campaign all the time and collaborating, asking questions. And we got a good session report today from Castatus. And it was interesting what his party's doing. They're in Nob. So it's really cool what's happening with his group. So I did a lot this week. A lot got done. A lot of things are happening. A lot of changes. So the first thing I want to announce is, I don't have that in front of me, the modules. So I wrote 5 modules for the Dungeon Masters Guild. And the same materials in World Anvil, so you can use it. It's free fan content. Like the Village of Nob, the Village of Shirnob, the Village of Ostfirk, all the quests and Hamlet, and the module for the leadership of the Temple of Elemental Evil, all the characters and all what they're doing and their recruitment, a lot of information. And those are big modules and they're very professionally done. So World Anvil, it's hard to print from that. You try printing it. And if you export it as a PDF, it loses all its formatting. So World Anvil is really difficult to print from. So what I did is I rewrote all of it and reformatted it into concise, tight pages on PDF. So the whole module is printable. Because there's a lot of dungeon masters out there that want to print it up. And that's why I did it. So it's not to make money. It's just for those, because, I got people that support me in an offhand way with Patreon to encourage me to keep working on this. I've been working on this for 7 years, but they're not paying for any of this stuff. So anyway, DM's Guild said, you know what, you could sell Greyhawk stuff on there. We get 50% and you get 50%. So, okay, I'll just write some modules and put them up on there. Unfortunately, it cost me some effort and time. Like Nob took 300 hours. I could have just converting it to the PDF. I could have used those hours and expanding the campaign into the Wild Coast by now. So it's kind of a trade-off on time. So Dungeon Masters Guild, I met Jack. He's the liaison there, and we have a working relationship. And he talked to me quite a bit lately, and he said, we have a problem. You can't give away this stuff on World Anvil and sell it on DM's Guild. He doesn't care about the distinction between a module and the information that's on World Anvil. He said it's just the rules of the rules. Either take it off World Anvil, which there's no way I'm going to do because there's way too many Dungeon Masters using it to run their campaign. And 7 years of work, too. And he said, or we're going to have to take it down from the Dungeon Masters Guild, your modules that you package together with all that artwork and maps and stuff. I said, fine. I don't care. I don't sell that much there anyway, compared, to what I'm doing globally. I said, fine, let's take it down. Until things change with Wizards of the Coast, let's keep it that way. So I was thinking about what to do with my modules. I'm ready to write another one. Number 6. I was going to write the Noble Ambitions quest line, which is 12 chapters plus a dungeon, 2 levels of a dungeon. I was about to tackle that next. And I still could, but I didn't know what to do with the module because I can't sell it because it's on World Anvil and you guys all can use it and run the quest line. It starts at first level and it'll get you to second level by the time you're done. And then you can get down to Hamlet and tackle Moat House, take on Lareth. See how that works? Well, and it's really well done. It's Rick Bruner's module from Living Greyhawk, and it's expert, amazing writing. I expanded it greatly, because those Living Greyhawk modules are very short, very limited. It's only written for a session at a convention. You know what I mean? Just that much, just enough to run it in 4 hours. And I expanded it into a campaign version, integrating it. Okay, that's something else. I integrated it with this timeline. So this timeline is a T1 through 4, Temple of Elemental Evil, the year 579 Common Year. But all the Living Greyhawk stuff is 593 Common Year and up, or 2. So it has to be rewritten with the politics and the relationships and the timeline and all that stuff. It has to fit into this existing world on the World Anvil website. So that was a lot of work, and I expanded it greatly. I added a lot more information than you need to run at a convention. Because we're talking about a campaign where the players are role playing and spending 8-hour sessions every week, having fun playing this campaign. And so it has to be really deep, a lot of material, a lot of lore. So I talked to all the Patreon members. So the 3 Orcs Discord channel, I highly recommend you go there because all our DMs that are running this campaign are there. And we talk about this every day. And every time I write an article or any kind of artwork or maps, I put it on there as I'm working on it every day, and I get your guys' input, your critique, comments, collaboration, whatever you got. You help with it, and so that way you can stay on top. Because I know I do this every day, and not everybody has time to do this with me all day long because you have jobs. That's another reason why I did this video. And so we were talking about this, and I thought, well, what I could do is I have to follow the rules, right? So my only choice is to sit on these modules and not do anything with them until things change with Wizards of the Coast, or I guess that sucks. I have to sit on them, and it will not encourage me to make more of them. And if I did, it's just going to be added to the pile, collecting dust, right? Another big suggestion and a different way of handling this, it was really good advice I got, is I give away these modules. I rewrite these modules as fan content modules, big clear letters. I redo everything. I redo the modules and make it fan content, free fan content versions of these modules, not published version. And I did that already, by the way. That's one of the things I did this week. I went through all of them. I made them fan content only versions. And then I was suggested that I can't put them on my Patreon because it's fan content. It can't be behind any kind of paywall. So I created a Google website where I can put them up on there for download so you can get them freely. Then I was suggested for me to figure out a way with this to do well is to monetize and Patreonize my own work that's not related. Well, it's related, but it's not the product. VTT tokens, I'll show you that in a minute, and artwork and maps. So I can put that as Patreon only stuff. But I can't do the maps of something specific like the Village of Nob. It has to be free, fan content. So that's what the regular resolution versions are. And then for our Patreon members, I have the higher resolution version of it. You can download and print it up, because a lot of Dungeon Masters want a high res so they can print it, or some of them like higher res for their VTT. Some VTT apps have a limitation of how big the map can be. All right, so let's show what I've been working on. First thing I want to talk about is the T0 module. So by Joseph Block of Greyhawk Grognard. There's a lot of Dungeon Masters running this to start their campaign. There's a lot of different ways to start the campaign. I start my campaign in the city of Verbobonc. And if you guys have any questions, go ahead and answer in here and see how many people are around. There you go. So if you have any questions about this, let me know and I can answer them for you. And so I start mine with Noble Ambitions, the module, the quest line I wrote. And that's a lot of fun. It's really cool. It really gets the players engaged into the world of the Verbobonc, nobility, their political issues, kind of like the Game of Thrones meets Temple of Elemental Evil, and what Uliz is doing and what the Temple of Elemental Evil agents are up to. So I was really focused on that. But other Dungeon Masters will start theirs in Divers, or others will start in the Wild Coast. And that's what this one does. The T0 module starts at Narwhal, I believe. It says right there. You can't read it. The print's kind of small on my screen. Can you guys see that? Yeah. Okay, so it's written, it's formatted almost like an old school module. It doesn't have the treatment. It doesn't have the three orcs treatment. And so one of the things I noticed that was lacking is, the concise chart of all the NPCs involved and their roles and their factions and their motivations at a glance to help you stay organized. This is something you could do yourself by taking Dungeon Master notes. Well, here you go. This is the Dungeon Master notes for you. So basically, there's a chart here of all the NPCs, the faction, which is abbreviated, and their motivations. It's just a brief motivation. Usually when I do something like this for my campaign, I'll link all these character names to their articles. Each character will have their own separate article with their own artwork and their own information. But this is not my module. So anyway, it's a lot of NPCs here. And on the right-hand side are links to, these are the 4 leaders of the Temple of Elemental Evil, lesser temples, like Elrorim of the Fire Temple. As you can see, he's got a full article all about him with artwork too, if you click on it. Belsernig of the Water Temple, Kelno of the Air Temple, and Romag of the Earth Temple. There's a whole organizational article for Cult of the Elder Elemental God, which is basically a cover article for the entire organization that worships the Elder Elemental God. And then recruitment article, how they recruit, everything you need to know about them, how that temple's recruiting. And this is where this whole topic started. This recruitment article has nothing, that says nothing, doesn't use any information from Joseph's module. Because I was one of the Three Orcs Discord members, asked me about that. He goes, hey, what about these guys recruiting in his module? He goes, oh, okay, I can go ahead and add that. I didn't add these NPCs yet to this article. I probably should do that next. Like these guys right here. Let's see. Heavy Sneege, Abbey Bandit Boss of the Water Temple. Yeah, characters like that. Then the related locations, the Gnarly Forest, Narwhal, and Nolb. So quick links to important information, locations. Okay, so who holds what right now? Abbey, the Watchtower, the Moat House. Bam, bam, bam. Joseph Block changed things. He says that the Moat House is run by the Earth Temple, St. Lareth. Well, that's not canon. Lareth works for the Greater Temple. The Greater Temple is he is their shining rising star of the temple, of the Greater Temple. And that's who sent him there. And he works with their faction. Secretly, he's an agent of Loth, of course. But Joseph changed it to the Earth Temple. I don't know why he did that, but that's what he did. So I did a whole section on the Water Temple. The Abbey and the Watchtower. I did a whole section on the Earth Temple. I did a whole section on Air Temple. their methods and their assets, their current moves, what they're up to. The Fire Temple, same thing. Just outlines what they're up to. Keep you organized. Then there's the third wolf at the door, Uiz, who is basically Aaron Darkmoon, is the agent that works with Uiz. Anyway, here's some points here to heat up your session, to help you bring it together, and how to run this tug of war. Fast rules at the table if you need help. Put that together. So that's what I did this week. I put that together. So, Joseph Block did review this, and he gave it a thumbs up, and he says, "Good, it's accurate. I like it. Thank you." I said, "Cool." All right, so that's that. What I did that this week. Also, I did this too. So I should bring this up. There we go. Okay, so this is my Patreon, and today's post, I guess I'll go backwards. This is the tokens, the VTT tokens for the Suel Temple dungeon for Noble Ambitions. A lot of you guys were asking for VTT tokens, and so there's 15 of them here. And it's members only on Patreon. And as you can see, I gave you all the information here, everything you need to know about these. So I did that today, actually. Put that up, so I should make people happy. I didn't make tokens for normal, regular monsters like orcs. There's no reason to, because all your VTT apps already have orcs. Just use the generic orc tokens. And then yesterday I did this one. So somebody also asked about Nulb. So in the middle of Nulb is a message post. It's like a little tiny market square. It's all soggy and wet and foggy. If you guys seen it, you can look at the article right now on Nulb. And there's a message post in the middle next to the Hangman's Noose, the platform where they hang people. And basically, these are edicts and messages from the constable of Nulb. And so I wrote 6 of them for you. And there's 2 versions. There's one that's a public version that everybody can use. You don't have to be a member. It's normal resolution. And then I did another post for members only, which is much higher resolution, so you can print these up at your table. So it's kind of cool. This is the members only one. As you can see, 2560 by 2560, 2300 by 3400. And this is the other post that's free to everybody, smaller resolution. Then I start finishing off the dungeon. So I write blogs as I go through different milestones of my work. Like this is a blog. I was on room L20, the trap door, the trap pit door, the trap door. And so I decided to be a good idea to write a blog about that location in the dungeon. So I don't think that's another location in the dungeon, another blog I was writing about. I put a ley line in the dungeon. So I thought it'd be interesting to write a little blog about why I did that. Then I did back on November 9th. So that's last week. I like making little maps for players to find, like a boss orc. Even in the B2 module, the goblins have a map, a little map of their area. Really crude. And I like printing those up and giving them to players as player handout, player aids. And players love that stuff when they find things like this. So it helps mitigate the dangers of traditional Dungeons and Dragons. Gives them an advantage. Knowledge is key, since that version is so dangerous. Okay, so also last week I made the map. So this is level 2. Can you guys see that? So level 2. So this is an interactive map on World Anvil. You can go there right now, and you put your cursor over it, and a little pop-up of what that place is about. In fact, what I did was I added the monsters in there too, like this one. So it's 4 ruby zombies and 2 ruby ghouls in that room. If you click on it, it'll take you to the article with all the artwork and all the rules and the whole key to that room. But these little pop-ups help at a glance. It's like at a glance. So this is fully keyed. It's fully keyed, and I use map objects from Venetus Maps and Tom Kartos. Every square is 5 feet. over here, I don't know if you guys seen this part yet, this side of the dungeon. So that's the temple right here to Beltar, the Maw of the Deep Mistress. This is what the ley line is, the humming ley node vault, Isle of the Obelisk. And I put a lot more detail. So one of the pits drops into here. This is from L1, from the first floor, location L1 6, rooms location 6. It drops you into this pit, and the players can get this secret door here, maybe, and get out that way. If they're here too long, rubies, zombies, and ghouls will show up to drag them away to be turned into undead. That's what all the bloodstains are for. So I made multiple versions of this map too, and I have not posted these on Patreon yet. So I'll put a regular version on Patreon for everybody, free fan content. And then I'll do another one at very high resolution. It's like 40 megabytes, very high resolution, like 10,000 by 10,000 pixels or something like that. And I added little things here and there. So it's kind of cool. This section was really neat. I'm pretty proud of it. It's really interesting. I like making multiple interesting choices for the players in any location, and that's what I've done to this dungeon. I've always kind of known this stuff, but Old School Essentials, their dungeons, they do it that way too. They're really good at that. So the players always have these choices when they navigate through a dungeon. Like, do we want to go this way? And they can hear, smell, or feel, or detect different directions to help them choose. Like the draft is warmer in that direction. They hear sounds of dripping water from that direction. They hear this, they hear that. Signs on the floor, evidence of passage, of not just footprints, but other material items to give them an idea of what's to come or what's in the area, what to expect. So this section right here, I put 60 feet because see how it says under L208, and that's L208. That pit is supposed to be under this pit. And this elevator lift is supposed to be under this one, L203A, under L203A. And yeah, so this is 60 feet long, this passage right here. I wanted to keep everything on one map. That's why I did it. I could have made 2 separate maps, but I didn't do that. I know what I should have done. I should have just took this whole section and stuck it over here, not connected to anything. That's probably what I should have done. Oh, well. But yeah, this map's done. So it's pretty cool. And it's all interactive. So this is the big showdown. So this temple is where they hold the funeral services of the Suel priests and their families. And then I talked about this last week. And then the records room where they keep all their records of the dead. Then they get entombed into the crypt. This is the mortuary right here. This area right here is the mortuary. And then they get entombed into the crypts. So there's a logical reason behind this whole dungeon. The cavern complex, they really didn't know about. This happened. I figured something out. So this cavern complex was there, but they didn't really know it was all there. And then 355 common year, something happened. And it's one of the reasons why this place got abandoned. So it's all in the key here. They're messing with the power node, and Beltar rejected it, got really upset, caused a tremor in the whole area, and everything started collapsing and opened up like this right here. This room got opened up, and that room right there, this whole room got collapsed into the stream, and then it got opened up right here. So that's what happened. And this was another subterranean temple room that collapsed too. This all collapsed. Bam, 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 bam. Yeah, because Beltar the Deep Mistress was pretty upset by somebody was trying to tap into the power of the ley line, and that whole history is in the article. You can just read it if you want. It's all part of what the Suel priest were up to at the time. So that Suel high priest is trapped in it underneath the ley line stone. What do you call it? Can't remember. The foundation stone. The plinth. Now he is a shadow white. So that's the character. So we can look at that real quick. So what I'll do is click on it. And if you click it once, it'll bring up the article on the left side. Flavor text, what it looks like when you walk in there. All the rules, some artwork, but not the whole articles here. Look at the whole. This is the history, what happened in the 355 common year. I also put 5e rules in here too. DC 14, DC 13, DC 12, investigation checks, perception checks, if you guys use those. I also put some magic items in here too. I'll try. It's another thing I did this week. I created magic items. These magic items are awesome. So let's look at the full article first. So read full article. I'll open it up in a new tab. Here we go. Okay, so the Humming Lay Node Vault is a really cool place. It's got passive effects within 30 feet. Inspection, if they investigate. If they interact with the node, what will happen? 2d6 thunder damage and deafened for 1 minute. It triggers a backwash of power. Thunder damage. It's kind of cool. So the dark entity is trapped in there. And it's the entombed thing. It's a dark entity. And so basically, if you break the seal, destroy 2, freeze it at half strength. So it's a half strength. Releasing all 3 is full strength. So there's 3 seals. I should have made a picture of that. What happened here? So this is the history. Ripped into the node. So what he was doing, Valkarin, his pattern was ripped into the node. He survived as a shadow wight, bound beneath the obelisk. So you can figure that out with a check if you want. Also, what you can do manually, you can look around. And dangers. If you want, there's dark mantles on the ceiling in the cavern. Also, you'll see signs of troglodyte behavior in the area. And in the river are quipper swarms, 1 to 4. So my intent is the Song of the Stone. You get 3 plays. It's a ritual. It's a puzzle. And there's a combat hazard with darkness and water, stuff like that. Okay, so the signet of measure, the ruby-veined dagger, the petrol of the ruby judge, and the censure of solemn cadence, and custodian's van brace. That seemed to be pretty popular on the Discord. Hi, Tracy. Thank you for joining the Discord. I appreciate you following and watching. And if you have any questions about this content, please ask away. Thank you for joining. On the right-hand side is a wandering monster check. Yeah, these are the facts of the room and connections, the physical connections of the room, just outlined. The map notes about the map. Okay, lay node, die 12. Okay, so this is the loot. It's a loot table. So I roll 12-sided die, or you could pick. And I made pictures of 4 of these. So these are the magic items you could find, like a scroll tube, mortuary oil, a shash, a mithril funeral shirt, a shard of the node, things like that. A ledger fragment. Also, there's gems and coin too, of course. There's an optional boss drop, so there could be a van brace or the obelisk heart-shaped shard. So anyway, this is like the big encounter of the dungeon besides the one that's awoken that I talked about last week. So last week I talked about that, and that was where's my map? Here we go. So this big guy here, custodian, the Mavak, he awokened because of the howling orc excursion into the upper levels, and they try to get down to the 2nd level, and this is as far as they got, room 1. And you'll see the corpses of orcs in here. This is as far as they got. They weren't able to break in. There's gonna be other orcs in this labyrinth too, in this temple crypt area, because they fell through the pit traps. So one pit trap is here, and the undead ghouls and zombies drag those orcs away, and you'll find those orcs down here in the mortuary being turned into undead. Also, there's another pit trap right here. Oops, right here. Right outside. This is a huge encounter too. Something horrible. That pit, that maw drops into the underearth. And something horrible will come up if you mess with the shrine to the goddess of the deep. And the other pit trap drops right here into the troglodytes. So this tunnel right here could either go out to the Fenjator or edge of it, where the troglodytes came from, or it could go deeper into the underearth. It's up to you as a dungeon master. But the troglodytes came from this direction, and they made camp here, and they're exploring this labyrinth. They're trying to break into the crypts, but they haven't made it past this trap room right here, L217, these spinning cogs of spikes. But anyway, the pit trap, that's a net. So anybody that drops to the pit trap, which a couple orcs have, they catch them in the net, and then they kill them and eat them, I guess. So the players will drop down and get captured. So it's a possibility that hopefully that player can figure out how to get away. So somebody asked, if you're running the first module, which is the first level module, Noble Ambitions, and you're supposed to just recover the treasure of House Osbury, the purpose of that, let me show you the map. God, I don't know if I have the map even open, tell you the truth. I don't know. Well, there's the map. Oh, it's interactive too. Duh. I don't know what I'm thinking. So this is interactive too. This is level 1. So if you follow the clues, you follow the prophecy, it'll take you down to location 1, down this long tunnel, count the turns, 7, take a right turn, go down this tunnel, count 3, 1, 2, 3, turn the corner, entrance to the Suel Temple, and recover the treasures in L121 and get the heck out and deliver the treasures back to Lady Eleanor Osbury. That's the mission at level 1. The players it would be suicidal to take on the entire orc tribe here, the Howling Moon orc tribe, and the chief and his lieutenants and his bodyguards and the ogre. They could try it. I had a party do that, but they're not expected to. Also, they're not expected to fall in those pit traps. So the first pit trap is at location 7. So this tunnel right here, this side tunnel, this is the temple's defenses. These are oil tubes, arrow slits. The oil flows through. They catch this whole entire hallway on fire. Back in the day, that's what this was for. It was the temple's defenses. And if the intruders were to get far enough to get access to this door, and to get past this door, to get back there to defeat those defenders on the north side, there's a pit trap here. So that pit trap will take you down to, I should put these next to each other. This room. Yeah, drops you into that. Okay? So it's off the path. The players are not supposed to go there. So it's their fault for going there, right? They risk a lot by going off the path. They should know this. If they want to take the risk, they take the risks. Some players are that way. But that's what traditional Dungeons and Dragons is, even the old modules. You're taking a risk by doing something, and they made modules like that on purpose. The next pit trap is the end of this hallway. Right here. And that drops you here into the troglodytes. So it's possible to escape both places if you're a good player, you're smart, and you get lucky. The next place is right here outside the temple. Right here is see how I put the murals? I put graphics here to show you where the picture is on the wall, so you can see locations. So this is the pit trap right here, and that drops you down right here outside the temple. Bam. There's no active monsters in here right now in this area. You have to engage this altar for that to happen, for something from the deep to come up. It's a die 12 random thing too, or you could pick. So anyway, to get out of here, you could flow down the river. You could make your way through the caverns and go down this ledge right here. And this ledge takes you to the Feywater Agress. It's basically a verdant spill, a natural river exit. You can break out into the gnarly forest that way. So you can get out if you're a careful player and you get lucky. Another way to get out is up this. This will take you up, but it'll be hard. You'll have to use some kind of magical means because it kind of filters through the rocks. It's not a clear river, or you could be. It's up to you, right? It goes off the map. Another way to get out is through this complex, up these stairs right here. If you can figure out, if you're lucky, and you get past all this stuff, these corridors and these temple rooms and up these steps, you can end up right here, L16. So there's ways to survive. If the undead captures you, it's pretty much over, unless you can somehow get away from them, because they're just going to kill you and turn you into undead. They're going to drag you to the mortuary. Anyway, I worked on this all week, and I finished all these rooms. I finished this map. That's what I did all week. This is the big accomplishment of the week, is finishing this map and then adding it to World Anvil and adding these interactive tags, so you can use this as like a table of contents for the rooms, a visual way of doing it. Because if you go to the regular article, is it this one? That's the plot. That's the plot. That's the quest, the mission article. No. What am I doing? Oh, God. I got too many things open. Sorry. I think I went past it. Yeah. Oh, is it this one? This is one. Okay. So this is level 1. And right there on the right-hand side is all the keyed locations, table of contents. So you can navigate that way, or you can navigate with the interactive map. 2 ways to navigate in the dungeon. So that's kind of cool. All right, what else did I do this week? I think, I started working on this again. So this is the Lizard Man Village in the middle of Fenzator. I worked a little bit on this last night. I got one of the rooms done. It's fully keyed. I'm working on the map. The top level key, the top level map's done. I showed a video on this already a long time ago, several months ago. I'm working on the second level right now. So that's what I did, working on that too. So I was trying to get this room right, but I don't have it to show you right now. That's all I can remember I'm doing. So I got to think about what to do next. So going forward, I want to get Noble Ambitions as a module. I want to release that, but it's going to have to be given away for free, unfortunately. And if you guys want to comment on that, let me know down below. What your thoughts are on that, because I got also the city of Verbobonc I need to do. So let's look at the overhead map here. So the city of Verbobonc needs a module. The city of Verbobonc is done, but I can make that into a module. But it's going to take hundreds of hours of work to do it for something I'm going to give away for free. It's horrible. All these villages are done, but the only published modules in PDF form are the 5 I have right now, which is off the map here, is Nolb, Ostfirk, Sheernob, Village of Hamlet, and the Temple of Elemental Evil Leadership module. So all these towns you're looking at right here are all done. Even Twilight Falls is done online on the website. So I could create Twilight Falls as a module, but I have to give it away for free. And why do I want to spend 100 hours on that in a PDF form to do that? But people are suggesting that I do that and then add extras to it to put on the Patreon, like tokens, maps, artwork, the extra stuff. So that's what I'm looking at right now. Okay, so I guess I pretty much covered everything. It doesn't seem like we have a lot of people tonight watching the video, so a lot of you guys watch it later, but that's okay. I just wanted to catch you up to everything that's been going on. So let me go ahead and wrap this up here. Let's see. Okay, well, I hope you like what I've done so far. If you have any comments about this, please post them down below. I'd like to hear your thoughts on everything that's been going on. Also, you're more than welcome to join the 3 Orcs Discord channel, where we talk about this stuff every day. Every day I work on this. I put the results up, the links to these articles in the Discord, so we can collaborate and get critique and talk about this and edit things to get things right. Also, if you want to support this project, you can join Patreon for free, and you can get a lot of this stuff as fan content, no problem, for free. But some of the stuff I have, like the higher resolution maps, you have to be a Patreon member for. And also you're supporting the project. You keep me working on this, continuing 7+ years now into this, the most epic campaign ever made, period. There is nothing bigger than this. And so and also the level of expertise and professionalism of the quality of the product is second to none. It's a huge difference between other people's, what they've been doing. And I want to keep it that way. So also, if you want to get more involved and collaborate more and create some of these locations or NPCs or quests, get hold of me and we can actually get that added to the website too. So other Dungeon Masters can use it in their campaign. Well, I hope your players enjoy your campaign of the Temple of Elemental Evil as much as mine have over the years. And I hope you enjoy my content coming up as I work on it more. And I appreciate you guys' time, and I'll see you guys next week. Thank you. Good night.